Okay, as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, that brings up a dilemma. We decided to look at the two terms that have defined a community because there's some debate.
Yeah, we hear them a lot, Hispanic, Latino, but there is a right term, right? WGN's Lourdes Duarte is here with the story behind the label.
You want to know, don't you? Well, I've always been intrigued by this because people ask me all the time, do you prefer Hispanic or do you like Latino better? I never knew what to say. It turns out neither do a lot of people. So we went looking for answers to find out which is it.
Latino.
Hispanic is better.
I'd rather be called a Latina.
I don't have a preference to either or.
We're Hispanic and Latino.
I don't know the difference really.
Confused yet?
Yeah, I kind of am.
You know what? I wasn't always quite sure what the difference was.
So let's sort it out. Where do the terms come from for the largest minority group in the country?
Hispanic comes from Hispania.
There are those people that do not like Hispanic because Hispanic is too close to Spain, and they don't identify with it.
Or they don't like that it was forced on them. Dr. Samuel Betances says the Nixon administration came up with Hispanic in the 70s as part of the census, and it stuck until a new word evolved.
The younger generation likes Latinos if they have to use a category, because that was not imposed.
Not imposed and not limited to just people with backgrounds from Spain. DePaul Spanish professor Juana Gorgon says it's meant to include anyone whose language originates from Latin. So, under that thinking, wouldn't that mean Italians are Latinos?
The term in Italian for a Latin origin would be Latinus, not Latino. Latino is specific in Spanish, referring to Latin America.
Two small terms that, although insignificant for some, have stirred a debate for years.
In fact, George Lopez, the comedian, he says he hates Hispanic because he doesn't want panic to be part of the group.
The eastern states prefer the term Hispanic, and the western states prefer the term Latino.
At DePaul University, they recently took up the issue. In the end, they decided to come to terms with terms.
If you were to identify us as a community, what term would you use? And then we all agreed we would use Latino.
And if you still feel yourself wondering which is it,
You should ask, what do you like to be called? And you may be surprised that they may say none of the above.
what if you're not in a situation where you can ask? How should you decide?
Use both interchangeably.
I think that it should not matter, and people should not get upset if they call you Latino, Hispanic. The Spanish is in all of us.
I hope I really didn't just make you more confused at home, right? In 2000, the word Latino was added to the census form so that it includes both terms, Latino and Hispanic. As we talked to people, we did notice that most would rather be identified with their country of origin. So if you're from Mexico, Mexican, from Puerto Rico, Puerto Rican, that's what they prefer. But I think for the most part, people are okay with either or, Hispanic or Latino.
Do you have a preference?
You know what? I don't have a preference. I'm okay. Just don't call me late for dinner, right?
There you
No,
go.
I'm okay with either.
But I'm
Very good.
still to come. Special honor.